Okay, so I've been meaning to do this video for a very long time. It's finally here. I'm finally getting it done. And it's about how to embroider eyes on the Kitten pattern by @babadays.co. So here I'm searching for the beginning point of the first eye. And how I do that is just feel the stitches. So I always embroider the nose first over 2 stitches, and it's nose, not lips. And then I just feel for 2 stitches away from the nose and start there. Then I feel 2 stitches up, and those are my two points for embroidering the eye. So the eyes are embroidered over 2 stitches, vertically over 2 stitches. And here I'm making my first couple of passes. These ones are sometimes a little bit tricky just because of the fur. So I spread the fur out sideways to make sure that I can see where it's landing and make sure that it's straight. So really the beginning of the eye is just a bunch of passes over those 2 stitches. I've sped it up because it does take a while. And I ran out of yarn at some point there, so I added another length of yarn. Just in terms of what kind of yarn I'm using, it's a weight 3 100% cotton yarn. I bought it at Michael's. And here there's a few fluffs sometimes that get stuck in the eye, so I just use the needle to tuck those back in gently. And I'm doing my last few passes for the first eye, the main part of the first eye. And always like getting the fur out of the way. And now I'm finding the spot that I'm going to put the, I don't know really how to call it, maybe like the accent of the eye. So I put it into the middle stitch, like between the 2 first starting stitches. It's the middle stitch, middle space between stitches. So it's like half the eye and 1 stitch away from the main part of the eye, so that it goes vertically like that. And then I do only 2 passes always. The main part of the eye, it depends. Like I don't count how many passes I do for that. It really depends on the look and depends on how it's turning out for that particular eye. So here I've finished up the first main part of the eye, and I'm finding my starting point for the second eye, and this part will also be sped up eventually. So again, 2 stitches away from the nose, and then 2 stitches up, so that you're crocheting over 2 stitches. So that you're sewing over 2 stitches, embroidering the eye over 2 stitches. And okay, so there I've found my spot. Get that fur out of the way. Little fluffy kitty. And continue on with the embroidering over those 2 stitches. It's really, this part is sped up because there's not much to it other than getting the fur out of the way as you go. And then I've sped up this part of the accent because we did it in real speed for the first one. It's the same concept, just opposite side. Now I'm going to be adding the white. So this is what's going to really make those eyes pop. They're cute, just black, but with the white, it just completely changes the look, I find. And for the white, it's more precise than the main part of the black. I always do 2 passes along the outer edge of the eye in the exact same, in the 2 starting points of the eye. So there's 2 passes there. And then once I'm back up, I always do a little bit of fiddling. It's a lot of fiddling with these embroidered eyes. Like, you have to just really look at it and take your time and be patient and fiddle and pull and prod. And here my daughter is needing help, so I cut the video there. Okay, so then you have your yeah, I'm still fiddling here. And I pull up. I left this in the video specifically so that you can see, like, it's not a simple, just standard, it comes out the exact same way every single time process. It's really like attention to detail and figuring out what works. So I insert the hook close to the middle of the eye, not quite the full middle, but close to the middle of the eye. And then that's the little reflection of the eye. And here again, poking and prodding and getting those fluffs out of the way. And then I do 2 passes on the inside of the eye. This one is halfway through, but kind of like right in the middle. It goes like it's the stitch between the 2 main stitches. And this one I always do two passes, the same as the outside accent. But as you can see, this one is much shorter, like it's half. So it's just over 1 stitch, not over 2, like the outer part. So that eye is basically done. You're going to notice that I don't tie any of the ends. So I do this on purpose because I've cut out way too many eyes not to do this. I always leave the ends unknotted until I've finished both eyes and I'm happy with both eyes. This saves me time when I want to take it out. So again, 2 passes on the outside, and I prod and I perfect and I figure out what works, and then stick the needle into the just above the middle of the eye and pull up. There you go. And then this is again 2 passes. So yeah, you kind of, this eye has a couple of extra ends because I use two lengths for the black, and there's fur in the way. So there, yeah, and then I always tie my ends not in the starting points of the eyes. So I just pull them like anywhere above or below the eye, and then I pull my ends into those, like I make the other ends that are remaining join up with those ends that are outside of the main points of the eye. There we go. And so then I just knot them, and then I use a crochet hook to pull them, like I cut the ends, and then I use a crochet hook to pull them into the head. It's not super pretty right like that, but you get the idea. And again, poking and prodding, moving the reflection a tiny bit, pushing them in. You can you can kind of like stretch out the main part of the eye a bit. There are different things that you can do to just adjust them a tiny bit without taking it apart. And that's it. I hope this is useful, and I hope more people make fluffy cats. And if you haven't seen them on Instagram, this is what the fluffy cat looks like finished. I'm absolutely obsessed.